you said you did yoga was part of your journey?
Definitely.
Oh, I think that's amazing. For me, like when I go to a really good yoga class, like an instructor that just knows the right thing to say, and I mean, you store energy in your body, right? And you store trauma in your body. There's like so
Definitely.
much information out there to prove that this is true. And when you aren't used to moving, which a lot of people aren't, right? Like you get depressed or angry and like you just kind of go in the same cycle. So you're not moving your body. You get into these poses that unlock like a memory almost, right? Like you can get into a
Totally.
pose and you're like, you get snapped back 15 years and then you're that little kid going through something. And then I've seen people, and I've been one of them, that just starts crying because you're like,
Totally.
I'm having this amazing release right now. Um,
Absolutely.
as a man, I feel like so many men think it's too feminine. Like that's too feminine of an activity to do. Like what was that moment that was like, this is going to be good for me. This is something I need for my journey. Like, do you remember
Yeah.
that aha moment?
Definitely. Well, first, it's important to remember there's like a million different kinds of yoga, right?
Right.
There is certainly some yoga that is not for men
Mhm. Like
or
aerial.
masculine energy, right? There's definitely yoga that lacks all masculine energy. But there's definitely some very, very strong yoga. And first of all, yoga was developed for men in the first place. If you go back and you read about its history and development, I found Ashtanga to be what I needed.
Mhm.
Ashtanga is a set of poses that never changes. It's a progression. You do the same thing over and over and over again every single time. There's 3 different series. And it's powerful stuff, and it's strong. It's strong. Like you have to be strong to do it.
Mhm.
I mean, popping up into a freestanding handstand is not a weak move. It's not a weak move, right?
No.
And I learned that in first of all, yes, you're absolutely right about storing trauma in your body. I have definitely had major release on the mat. There's no question, especially like in pigeon and some few other like places where you can really open up the hips and stuff. And it's
Mhm.
really, I mean, it sounds hokey, but
Uh-huh.
you can feel it come out of you.
Yep.
And everyone that's kind of been through this understands and relates. There's just a moment at which you feel the release, and it's cathartic,
Mhm.
and it really is they call it a moving meditation, right?
Mhm.
If you're doing it right, you're doing your breathing, you're synchronizing your breathing with your movements, you're blocking everything else out. It's a very spiritual experience.
Mhm.
It's very calming and centering, and it's a hell of a workout. And when I got separated from my ex-wife, I moved down to like the hip part of town, and there was a yoga studio and a Whole Foods behind my apartment, and I was like, all right, let's just give this a shot. And after the first few weeks, I was totally hooked. About a
Mhm.
year's membership, I was there every single day. I did yoga every single day in class 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And man, it was fantastic. Changed my life completely. I'm not practicing now. But I do carry with me all of the benefits and memories, and building a community was part of it. Like the
Mhm.
community that I tapped into there, it gave me a lot of strength and a lot of power.
Mhm.
I met a lot of friends and met a lot of interesting people, had a lot of fun coming out of my divorce in the yoga studio next to Whole Foods in the hip part of town. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a happening place to be. And I stood out.
I bet. Did you still have
I
the beard?
yeah. You
Amazing.
know, I'm 6'4" and I'm like 250, and I can do all the poses. So like I stood out big time, and it was a lot of fun in that regard too. But I highly recommend it. There's nothing soft about it whatsoever, and it works together with a strength training program for men and women too. So I have nothing but great things to say about yoga. Really changed my life.
Yeah, me too. I need to get back into it. I was like actually just thinking that the other day because I just started getting more consistent with my workout because COVID happened and I just couldn't find a gym that didn't have masks. And I'm like, I'm not lifting with a mask. So I'm just going to wait till the world goes back to normal. And here we are. So I'm like 2, 3 weeks in and I feel amazing. I'm like,
Good.
I should have just done the mask and sucked it up because I needed to move. It's like
Yeah.
I'm a different person when I don't work out. And especially, like, that whole transition into becoming a mom, I think it happens to a lot of women. You get riddled with anxiety after, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's, because you're going into this new like, this new person, or because now you're worried about this little person all of the time, but for me, I, like, just couldn't figure it out. So I had to do a lot of work to get rid of it, and finally it's gone. We're, like, a year and a half in.